Hi everyone, I'm Camille at Marula, and today I'll be working on a floating soap called Double Toil and Trouble. It's got shea butter, olive oil, coconut oil, and a really neat drop pour pattern that I've never used before. Usually when I do a drop pour, I will give it a swirl, particularly a butterfly with my coat hanger. So I was really excited to use this technique because I wanted this recipe to look kind of like a bubbling cauldron. So I started by mixing my room temperature oils with my room temperature lye water. I brought it to trace with my immersion blender, and then I added some pink grapefruit fragrance oil and mixed that in really well. And then I popped it into my stand mixer. So this recipe I mixed it half at a time in the stand mixer because it's such a large batch. If you do it all at once, then I get like lots of splatters, and you don't want that because soap batter is caustic. And this particular recipe, because of the fragrance oil that I used, moves at a fairly average pace. I've had fragrance oils slow down my batter so much that it's taken me like 20 or 30 minutes to whip up before. And then I've had one or two that, 3 or 4 minutes in, they're looking pretty thick, and then I'm rushing to get it into my loaves. But this one moved fairly slowly and gave me lots of time to work with. So then I split the batter after it was done mixing into 4 different amounts. I mixed some canary yellow in, some adobe orange, some Poseidon blue, and then some charcoal and iron oxide for a solid black. And to get my colors incorporated in really nicely, instead of stirring it in with a spoon or a whisk, I'm just going to use my immersion blender because I like the way that the colors pop a little bit better. And you can't tell as much on camera as in person, but you would notice that a lot more with the black. And when I mix it here for the colors, I'm just going to do it a little bit, because if you mix too much, then I'm just going to be pulling out all the bubbles that I just put in. So I just gave it a quick little mix, and that was enough. And then because the immersion blender doesn't always pull the main batter completely away from the walls of the containers, I'm just going to pull that in, mix it in really well, so that when I go to do my pour, I don't have little streaks of main batter left in there messing up my colors. Then I just started with maybe 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of the black at the bottom of the mold before I started the rest of my pour. And as I pour my colors, I'm going to pour them as close to the molds, or as close as I can get to the batter in the molds as possible, so that they're not submerging deeply and dispersing at the bottom or swirling at the bottom. I really just want them to hit the batter and sink in a little bit and leave me with solid channels in there. And I don't want them to be really thin or small, so I was pretty generous with my pours. And then once I was finished with the majority of my batter, I just cleaned out the the rest of the batter out of the measuring cups in smaller little streaks across the top, so that I could give it a little bit of definition. You guessed it, with a figure 8 swirl. I am a creature of habit. So you'll notice that yellow is quite a dark yellow, almost a light orange. It's the only color that I use that really changes so much between batter and cure. The first time I used it, it was a little bit alarming, really. But that's going to lighten up to quite a light colored yellow. And then the embeds are little spider webs with little spiders in them. I thought they were really neat and wanted to include them in this batch. And then I topped it off with some biodegradable glitter. There's actually 2 different ones in here. They are Bro Flower and Black Stardust. I haven't processed them at about 170 degrees. I just got the oven a little bit warm, popped them in, and then I waited until they were maybe 150 to 155 degrees. And then I pulled them out and let them cure overnight. So you can see here how light that yellow turns out. Then I'm gonna tidy up the edges a little bit, just because when they dry out, they can be a little hard, a little sharp on the edges, so I just take those off. Do a little float test. And they're ready to cure. I'm super happy with the way that these turned out. The drop pour turned out exactly how I was hoping it was going to, and so did the colors. So yeah, I'm very happy with this batch. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.